Hey guys, it is, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact Lore video. So for today we're going to be talking about Signora, and since it's been a while I don't think I have to worry too much about spoiling people anymore. So why don't we get into the backstory of Signora? Let's start with a part of Signora's story before she became a Harbinger, before even the cataclysm event. She was known as Rosalyne, who was an ordinary young woman who studied at the Sumeru Academia. She actually had a lover in the past, and his name was Rostam. While she was a maiden, she used to love to sing, as we learned from the weapon elegy for the end. The west wind bears wine's fragrance away. The mountain wind brings glad tidings new. The breeze from afar tugs at my heart. It sings of my longing for you. Long ago, there was a knight who was ever door of countenance. Only a certain song could ever cause his brow to unfurl, and only a certain girl who sang that song in the square could cause him to forget the great burden of his duty for a time. This was the beginning of their love story, the story of Rosalyne and Rostam. When Rosalyne left for the Academia of Sumeru, Rostam gave her a special Hydro timepiece that she kept with her throughout all this time. He asked her to keep it so that she can keep track of the time they were apart. But things wouldn't go so well for this couple at all. But at last, calamity came upon this land. The songs that once flown joyfully in the wind were drowned by a venomous dragon. In the wake of its earth-shaking footsteps, even in the cries and the flames were ripped asunder. The animal Archon heard their agony, though he refused to rule, but to protect his old friend's dream and defend the wind-kissed fields of green. He woke from his long slumber anew, and with the sky dragon in battle he flew. The knight and his knights also fought for their land. Unfortunately, while she was gone in Sumeru, the cataclysm took place, which is when she lost Rostam, the love of her life. She lost her way and lost control. Her body turned into liquid fire, and so the Crimson Witch of Flames was born. She burned everything evil in her path, be it demons or monsters, but the people of Mondstadt still grew fearful of her. Her hatred for the lax animal Archon grew into a hatred towards all Archons. Near the end of her conquest to burn evil, the flames of her body were only getting hotter and hotter, until eventually she would burn herself to ashes. But that didn't happen, of course. She was approached by the first Fatui, Piero. He would offer her a way to control her powers, as well as get revenge on the gods that took her love from her. From the pale flame of stainless bloom. Though your body has long been covered in scars, fierce flames are all that thou may flow. Like molten iron from your eyes and your wounds, let the flames that now devour you be extinguished by the grace of her majesty. What say you? The first Fatui gave power to the young woman in whom the flames of life had all but died. And in her wild imagination, she saw the line that lay between the corrupt past and a stainless future. I understand then. Let the glacial ice take the place of my erased past and extinguish these undying flames. Let the darkness of corruption, the pain of the world, and the humans, beasts, and the sin they all carry be purified by silent ice. We share the same goal, you, your Tsaritsa, and I. Cleanse the source of distortion in this world, short-sighted, ignorant gods, and darkness and corruption of the abyss. Good. I will do whatever it takes to become an efficient instrument in the advancement of our common cause. For even if I dress in pure white from head to toe, the ashes of the dead that have long left their stain on every inch of my being can never be cleansed. And that is how Signora became a part of the Harbingers. At least her start in working with the Fatui, which brings us to present day where we, the traveler, first meet Signora at the Church of Mondstadt. Then the bank in Liyue, where we eventually see her death in Inazuma.
So strong, but how? I am a Snezhnayan diplomat. You know what happens if you lay a finger on me. I swear, if you strike me, I will make sure. The Fatui will make sure that your precious Inazuma... Stop! I order you! And you! Filthy rats! All of you!
Well, there's some fancy stuff we learned here, especially since we know that her pyro doesn't actually come from a vision, but rather from magic. It's safe to assume that she was a pyro student in Sumeru, and is probably the same vein of magic that is used by the Abyss Mages, or probably a branch of the same magic, which gives us an explanation on non-vision element users. But this video isn't here just to cover her backstory. Actually, I wanted to make this video because I think Signora isn't actually dead. There are three main things that convince me that she isn't actually dead. The first of which is the way she died. I mean, for sure you can't survive the Musu no Hitotachi if it hits you. If it does hit you. But if you look at the way she falls down, it's different from any death that we've seen in the game. Any permanent death always included a body lying on the floor, like Teppei or the friend of Kazuha. But with all of the deaths that have disintegration, they can revive and be brought back to life, like the monsters we kill around Tevat, or even ourselves, the Traveler. We revive after we disintegrate into that blue floating dust things. Signora has two forms, her Crimson Witch of Flames and her mortal body, again thanks to her cryo delusion. It's not unlikely that she discarded her mortal body because, as we've mentioned, she has it again. She has once discarded it to become the Crimson Witch of Flames. As well as her being a catalyst user, it's very likely that she knows how to teleport. Both Lisa and Mona have that ability for short distances, and we know that Signora is far more powerful than they are, so being able to teleport long distances isn't unlikely for her to be able to do, because even her subordinates, the Chinchin mages, have the same ability. The second is that she has the nickname of Undying Butterfly, or at least is talked about as such. One of her drops if you beat her as a weekly boss is Hellfire Butterfly, and it has this to say about her. The seal of ice was broken under duress, and as her former will surged forth from its pale white prison and she remembered her old name once more, the undying butterfly danced amidst burning flesh and blood. And the third is a little bit more of a stretch with Signora's Harbinger number. 8 has the biblical meaning of resurrection, though I don't think that this is as far-fetched as it seems, because when we do check the meanings of the other Harbinger's numbers, we know that it all lines up. For 1, it means unity. Piero recruited the Fatui Harbingers. 5 is grace. Pulcinella let Tartaglia serve under the Tsaritsa to quench his thirst for battle over giving him punishment. 6. Imperfections. Scaramouche was let go by Baal due to his imperfections. And 11. Chaos and Judgment. Child is chaotic in his constant want to fight, but he also is the tax collector for the Fatui, in charge of bringing judgment to those who fail to pay up to the Fatui. So basically, there are many ways and possibilities that Signora could have faked her own death, and her entire theme seems to be based around resurrection. So I wouldn't be so surprised if she ends up being resurrected, or even if she turns out to not be dead. Copium. But that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, then like the video and comment below what you think about it. Is Signora actually dead? Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Genshin Impact lore and possibly other things. I'm really hoping to reach 10,000 subscribers soon, and if you can help me reach that point, I'd be very grateful. I also have a Patreon if you want to support me further, and as always, thank you to my patron for always supporting me. Oh, and please follow my Twitch, as that's where I normally stream, so if you want to catch me farming in Genshin or playing some other game and just want to chat, that's the best place to look. Links are all in the description. But that's it from me. Ad Astra, Abyssosk.